the lives of these children, how healthy is it for them to be taken away and placed in the care of a shelter which may provide their basic necessities but will on the other hand deprive them of their mother's love and family care? Is this a factor that has been ignored by authorities? And how important is a mother's role in the healthy growth of a child?
Children who are living without their parents, then probably there's this thing we are talking about in psychology called maternal deprivation. Especially if the children are not living with their mother, especially children who are between the first 5 years of life. That would have a big impact on their development later on in life. Because in psychology we are talking about this concept called monotropic bond, where the child forms a unique specific bond with the mother, which is very different to all the other relationships that the child forms. That monotropic bond is very important in terms of learning how to form attachments later on in life. Now, for example, what they're saying is you form your first bond with the mother and then learn how to form healthy relationships. So if the child is maternally deprived, the child would not have the opportunity to learn how to do it. So most of the relationship the child would form later on would have some sort of negative effects on them. When you all of a sudden take children from the street and place them in an alien environment, they probably do not have any of the factors that they felt safe with, that they looked up to, that they felt belonged to. So what happens is they are totally alienated in this situation, and then what happens is, since if you are talking about institution, then the methods and the procedures used in the institution would not be on individual basis. They would generalize and give a standard treatment for everyone, and they would fail to nurture each child separately. Yeah, there could be short-term effects as well as long-term. Short-term effects are like if you take a small child, the separation anxiety and all. The children would go through a lot of emotional trauma and emotional disturbances because the child is probably separated from the parents and all that, because most of the institutional facilities that we have do not shelter the families, they shelter children, so probably they'll take away the child. Well, you can justify it saying if you are able to give better education, better facilities, better food and all that. That is true in a way, but the problem is if you are unable to, from the child's perspective, the child is taken away from the people that they love most. If you take a child off from the parents who are living in the street and place him in an alien environment, that will be as equal to a child growing up in the street alone. Because psychological effects are concerned, like maternal deprivation and all those things would occur the same way. Even if you place them in institutions, you find sometimes they start calling the nurses the mother and all that. So that shows the inner need of the child to have a mother figure. If the mother is not that important, then you don't have to create a mother for yourself. That bond is very important.